it reminds me of as a teenager when I was first exploring sexuality and had no idea of my boundaries, and feeling this pressure to like go further faster, and that you didn't really have time to like reflect and be like, okay, how did I feel about that? Like, was I comfortable with that? Oh, like, how should I progress? Like, I think a lot of us really missed that opportunity of really going slow and being able to feel into what we're actually liking, what feels good, what, how we like to be touched, how we like to touch, and this kind of education that goes at a slow pace. Like, when we're learning a lot of other skills and things, we kind of, give ourselves time and go slowly. But in sex and relationships, there's just often feels like so much pressure to just like dive in there. And, I felt a lot of pressure growing up to just, hurry up and have sex already, so I could
Yeah,
just say I've done it, and that I crossed so many
yeah.
boundaries. It took me years and years to like undo the damage that I did from going so fast. So it's actually beautiful that people get to have this really slow, steady experience, like in a therapeutic container, and to really, have that education and that trauma awareness and that gentleness. It's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, I totally agree. And listening to what you said, like, reminded me of one example. There was one patient where, lovely girl, really lovely woman, like, super intelligent and nice and really like a wonderful person. That doesn't matter for some reasons. Yeah, never was in a relationship, never had any sexual interaction with anyone, was never naked in front of anyone. And we did the whole journey, slowly, 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 step by step. And she slowly gained more confidence, and we tried things. And, we had ups and downs. Some things, she was surprised that it was easier than she thought. And some things she didn't expect were difficult. And that's very normal. And, this is life. And we went through a beautiful journey together. And an interesting thing happened towards the end. Um, we already started. I mean, she started to talk about that she's practically ready, to kind of go out there and start dating and just like explore and, just manifest all the things we worked on. And you could feel that she kind of like, she's a bit impatient for us to kind of try everything. So she could, like, have done that and get this therapy over with and go out to the real world and try things. And I think that at some point I felt a bit off. And that's what makes this whole triangle setting so beautiful, because I could write in the report that maybe I felt a bit pressured by her, or maybe unseen, that, she just wants to, come on, let's have the penetration and get it over with. And I'm like, I'm also here, and I don't know if I feel comfortable in, penetrating just for penetration, or just to mark a V to get it over with. And, I floated it. We spoke about it. They spoke about it. And we all just realized that, yeah, uh, in her journey, she was just like you mentioned, in our teenage years, all this pressure to have sex. Like, she really just wanted to get this thing over with, like so many teenagers. But that sadly doesn't lead to a good experience, right? Um, so it was a very interesting notion, like this, okay, I'm already like the whole thing is successful. But then it took this turn of, like, going to those places that you mentioned. Like, I felt the pressure from her, like, okay, let's just get it over with. And, we did have the container and the safe space to talk about it, to float it, and for her to understand, like, this is not going to work if this is how we approach the thing, as if like it's some mechanical thing that, we need to mark a V. Okay, done that